Hey everyone, welcome back for another video. So we are going to also dive right in and take a look at Gnarlwoods. So this is the new season for Warhammer Underworlds. The last season had some fantastic models. I honestly think Underworlds is making some of the best models from Games Workshop. And they're all AOS, but again, it's all like the last one had Stormcast and the Cruel Boys, my boys in it. But I really think, as I've been saying for like years now, that focusing on the humans in AOS is the direction they need to go to make AOS better. I think all of the races together is a cool melting pot of different things, but we've got models for the Sylvaneth. Like you've got really cool one-off armies for a lot of different things. And now I think is the time, of the humans basically to come forth and take over AOS and have some of the coolest models that will draw people back in. Because I think by far for a long time the weakest point has been like, oh, you want to play humans, eh? Here's some Empire gunners that you had 20 years ago. Do you remember them? And it's like, well, I don't want that. They're like, and then in the stories and the lore, the humans are the most interesting thing, and they always describe these fantastic, crazy regiments and leaders and groups, and they're always just kind of like, well, there's no models for any of this, but did you enjoy reading it? So it's a weird thing, but let's take a look at Gnarlwood. I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted by this box. I played the first season. No, actually, it was the first 3 seasons of Underworlds nonstop. I got a bunch of my friends into it. It was so much fun. And I kind of miss that. It's a fun little one-off. Again, these are games like Warcry, like kind of Kill Team, right? Where they're faster, quicker games. You like, especially Underworlds, you can finish in about 20 minutes, right? Like it really goes by quickly, but it's a lot of fun at the same time. So they've got a new board. They always bring out again the new board. This one actually looks really cool. I like the aesthetic of it a lot. The cards look slightly different. They're again well done. The system that they have for upgrading your heroes is a lot of fun to do. Like you can really kind of counterplay people. I didn't play last season because I know it added a bunch of abilities. So I'm not quite sure on the rules of those new things, but there is this video that I almost just missed. So let's watch the video first. I didn't expect this. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. Ultimate. I don't know about that. It's a competitive board game. The models are unreal. They've never done a commercial like that, and I don't know if I care for it. I understand because I feel like they want Underworlds to get brand new players in. It's one of those things where it's not meant for me, right? And that's why I kind of don't like. I understand that commercial, but for me, I'm like, I know the game's good, but anyway, it's not for me. It's a fine commercial. We'll go through some of the models here. So first, we've got the Gnarl Spirit Pack Dark Oath Pariahs, consumed by animalistic spirits. Again, within the Chaos groupings, and any of them, right? Even in Gur, which they're focusing on now, you can get into such different areas where they have such cool lore. A lot of the actual realms are really well thought out. There's the maps behind them. It's very much like Warhammer Old World in that way, where it's still got a lot of the things that you like. And it's funny because while I was on Twitch streaming, I was talking to someone about Warhammer Old World because I'm playing Total War versus AOS, and where I used to be very much the way that a lot of people are with AOS, where they're just, they don't want to even engage in it, right? They're like, you blew up Old World, I'm mad at you. And that's the way I was for a long time, because I was just like, I don't understand like what happened and why you blow up such a cool like game and everything else. But I think that it's getting to a better place, but I feel as though 40K overshadows it so often that people really do forget about it sometimes. But again, Underworlds gives you a chance to even buy a one-off thing, paint something different. I always used to say people at the shop, like, oh, I'm kind of bored of painting Marines. Get something from Underworlds. It's completely different. And this new warband are aesthetically very different. Like, they're recognizably kind of the humans who are worshiping blank god, which I really am into and I think are the coolest parts of AOS. Like here, like worship, like got an antler tied to a stick to cast spells, like wearing a skull, like animals, right? Like you can feel the animalistic nature of these models. And this one, they're really kind of scaling the humans to different sizes now, which is amazing. Like a lot of the times in the books for AOS, they describe where like it's a unit of swordsmen, but there's one guy who's huge, right? Who's like the champion of the squad. And I like that they're really changing it up and putting different size humans in, right? Showing that variation. Like, again, look at the size difference here is huge. Again, like the helmet, like the aesthetic kind of thing, each model has its own style to it. This one is the exact same pose as the Vermspat model too. I don't know if anyone knows that. They're one of the Nurgle warbands. I don't think you can even get them anymore, but it's literally the exact same position, which I find funny. But I still like the model. I like the knee guards are really cool. The groin plate, cool, right? I wish I could spin these models around. It's unfortunate that I can't, but this is very tempting. I have to admit, this is very tempting. And then I love the undead in AOS. I think that like this is what they need to do, right? The Graveguard, that's a cool Graveguard. Those old Graveguard models suck. I can't stand them. Go with this, right? These are cool. This is what the skeleton should be. Like you could have variation within the skeletons of they're from this region, they're from this region. You could do so much with the undead in AOS. And I feel like this, again, fantastic move. I like the sculpted bases for these models. I like the posing. You've got the White King, a Graveguard. And then, like, I think that's a Graveguard. No, these are actually just skeletons. Sorry. So these will be regular skeletons, armed with various weapons, which again makes sense from wherever they are from. I don't think these are from Ulfenkarn because the aesthetic is different. But then again, giant skeleton from a giant human that died, right? All the skeletons were always like, all the people were the same size exactly. And it's like, that's not a thing. So like the helmet on this with the mouth open and the giant blade, like great models, like knocking it out of the park. And the storyline for it is kind of getting, it's funny with Underworlds where at first like the connections they were making were very interesting, but now it's kind of, I don't know what the last one was. And I was disappointed with the last one because I thought they were going to do an all pirate season, which would have been cooler than what they ended up doing. They still had some interesting models that were brought out, but like it was underwater pirate. Like where were my pirates? I don't get it. So Gnarlwood, I'm not sure of the lore for this zone, but the last few tie-ins were weaker. As it's been going on, it's been getting kind of more weaker in the storyline. So I am interested to read about Gnarlwood, see what's up, see if they've kind of recovered a bit in terms of the story. Both of them come with decks that you can get like playing right away. Darling Delvers. And then usually they come with kind of a side deck that you can sub stuff in for both of them. But it kind of gets you back into like kind of Magic style deck building. There's usually booster packs that they build out. But the one thing that they do get you on, and when I had some friends start playing, once they realized that this was the system, they were like, well, we're never going to get anything else. And I was like, that's totally fine. Is that as other warbands come out, like they want you to buy more cards, right? So you have to buy the next warband because they'll have universally playable cards that you'll want for your army, right? And every 2 years it's a cycle, so you can only use cards for 2 years. But that's a standard thing for games like this, right? They want to keep you engaged. So another cool thing is I have a friend of mine who has collected, I believe, every single warband, right? And just paint, that's the thing that they paint. And it allows them to paint something different and really like doing a fantastic job painting them, but paint something different every time you paint, which for me is a pretty crazy concept because I'll like paint Death Guard for a year, right? Like being like every time I sit down, I'm going to work on a different project is pretty wild, but also fun. Let me know in the comments what you think of the models. If you've never seen Underworlds, because I believe I did do a review for the last one, but again, that was a year ago, so I can't. Have I been making videos for a year? How long have I been doing this? Oh, I don't remember. Anyways, this is a new video, so let me know what you think of Gnarlwood. I'm so tempted. The undead, I think, are amazing. And again, these humans interest me just because it's a nice change of pace. It might be a fun one-off thing to play. But the price of Underworlds, like, they used to be like 99 bucks for the starter box, and then the packs of guys were 40 bucks, which was kind of reasonable. But now I think the packs of guys are like 60 bucks, and I think the starter box is 130. Don't quote me on that directly. Once they do the pre-release weekend, I'll go through the pricing then. But it has increased, so it's kind of like, I don't know. But again, the models are very tempting. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I've been talking for so long. It helps me out so much. There's tons of Warhammer stuff coming out soon, so thanks for watching. I'll see everyone in the next one.